He had both red and purple. No, he don't, gang. No, he not. No, he not, bruh.
Oh, his last.
This might be the coldest nigga in existence, bro. No, bro. Star Wars family, it's time to get back into some more lore videos. Today we have the full story of Darth Revan Explain, the complete history. This is gonna be a long one, man, so I hope you guys lock in. I'm locked. I'm off 2 monsters and a quarter of a can of Pringles. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Today on stream, I will be checking out episode 5. So if you guys are interested, hit the link in the description, the Twitch link, so you guys be live with us. If not, it's all gonna be uploaded on Patreon. Link down there as well, man. Without further ado, let's get into the story of Darth Revan, who I heard was also tough. I love the Siths, man.
There's no emotion.
My first lightsaber I buy will be Darth Vader's or Anakin's.
There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity.
Hell.
There is no chaos. There is harmony.
Through power, I
There's no
gain
death.
victory.
There is the Force. Force.
Oh, that's so tough. So cool.
One up here that's so hard.
Oh.
No!
What the f? Yo, wait, I'm already cursing in the video. Wait, that intro was kind of tough, bro. Wait.
Revan's story is legend across the galaxy. His choices and actions would even influence future events, thousands of years later. To begin this tale, we start in the years following 3994 BBY. This is when Revan was
BBC.
born. He was a human male who showed great potential in the use of the Force. As usual with Jedi recruitment, Revan was taken from a very young age to be trained as a Jedi. We don't know
Started from a Jedi. I see.
who Revan's parents were, and it's likely he doesn't remember them either. Revan became a prodigy within the Jedi Order. He flourished under the training of many Jedi Masters, rather than just one, seeking
Wait, many? That's a choice. You could do that? You could just choose? Or do they maybe the council directs you to a different master?
out new knowledge and learning the secrets
Oh,
of
no,
the
he
Force
chooses.
was something he was naturally
sounds like.
motivated to do. Eventually, he would catch the eye of even the Jedi Council with notoriety. Even Jedi such as Kreia were quite fond of Revan and
Prayer? I don't know what that is.
what his future might hold. While training as a Padawan, Revan became friends with another like-minded student. His name was Malak. They quickly bonded as friends and would go on to be
Revan
known
and
as
Malak.
an inseparable pair. In the time Revan and
deadly
Malak
duo.
spent becoming Jedi Knights, a dark force was plotting something sinister. In the year of 3965 BBY, when Revan was 29 years old, the Mandalorian Wars made its way into conflict with the Republic. The war that had reached them was something the Jedi Council refused to be a part of. They were unwilling to join and defend the Republic. At the time, this caused a rift between many of the Jedi, as so many wanted to join the fight, but the Council would see such an act to be the start of your path down the dark side. They foresaw many innocents would die. However, Revan had other ideas. He disagreed with the Council's decision, so he and Malak together recruited many Jedi
sounds
from
familiar.
the Order and joined the Republic war effort. Mitra Surik, also known as the Exile later, also joined Revan's Jedi army. After Malak approached her and informed her of the rally, the Republic had welcomed the Jedi with open arms to help defend the galaxy. Revan had proved himself to the Republic military time and time again by winning battle after battle. He was quickly becoming famous as the Jedi hero
Is this some cinematics or something with Revan?
Revan, who would never lose a battle. The
Never
Jedi could
lose
only
a battle.
when the Council would not.
Damn. The Jedi in the dark got in there.
In the year of 3960, Revan and his companions built and used a super weapon named the Mass Shadow Generator.
Oh, that's the thing that was mentioned in the Nihilist video, right? The thing that the weapon that they shoot and what, cast like a fucking, I don't know, a soul-eating shadow thing?
They did this to force the Mandalorians
Or something like
into
that?
submission and bring an end to the war.
Wait, I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of fucked up. That's kind of fucked up and sick. That's not the Jedi way.
Revan split his forces with Mitra in a plan to bait them into a trap they had set on Malachor V, the mass shadow generator, a super weapon with the capability of creating a massive gravity vortex at the core
Subs are ass.
of the planet. Mitra led Mandalorian forces into the trap and gave the command to activate the super weapon. The chaos and destruction at the behest of the mass shadow generator completely shattered the planet. It would also be the event that gave birth to Darth.
Darth Nihilus, yeah.
At the same time, it forced the Mandalorians into a corner, as they just lost the majority of their ships and army. While the super weapon took out the army, Revan and his half of the fleet assaulted Mandalor's personal flagship. After the devastating blow of the super weapon, Mandalore the Ultimate, the current reigning leader of the Mandalorian people,
Mandalore the
challenged
Ultimate.
Revan to 1v1 combat
Oh, loser just forfeits.
in an effort to win and end the war. Mandalore the Ultimate had fought valiantly, but he was no match for the Jedi hero Revan. Revan
I need to see how that takes place. Like, how that happens. I would assume it would just been like a one-sided battle. A slaughter, even. You know?
defeated Mandalore, but he didn't stop there. After defeating Mandalore the Ultimate, Revan claims his mask, so no other Mandalorian may claim the title Mandalore.
Oh, is that what the mask is?
This was a time before the Darksaber existed. Mandalore's mask was the sacred icon of the clans. Whoever wore the mask would be destined to rule over all Mandalorian clans.
That's
to
crazy.
stop another rising and waging war again.
That's so tough.
Revan takes the mask and later hides it. Before Mandalore dies, Revan asks him why he decided to attack the Republic.
It's over, Mandalore.
Ooh, we get voiceovers.
You lay dying. I understand.
Dang, bro, is that him, bro? He ain't got no sauce. I ain't gonna cap. That joint kind of trash. Mandalorians are super competent, so they can content with Sith. Oh, with Sith and Jedi. I mean, like, bro, can they though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro.
No. Give me answers. Why did you attack the Republic? Thousands.
He had a purple one. Is this canon? Oh, no, quote unquote canon. This facts? He had purple. That's the second person I think I've seen that had purple.
Thousands of innocents are dead. It wasn't supposed to end like this. They promised me victory. Only now do I see how I was betrayed. What are you talking about?
Hey, yo.
They tricked me.
Yo?
You were never meant to win this war.
What?
They used me. Used my people to test the Republic's strength.
What?
Who used you? The Sith.
Damn!
Revan had discovered from Mandalore that a red-skinned being had approached him and asked for his aid. This red-skinned being, who he would later find out to be a Sith, wanted help searching for an ancient temple that was said to hold someone of stature from the past. The person buried within was none other than the exiled son of an ancient Sith Lord, Lord Drameth.
What? Lord Drameth? Exiled son of an ancient Sith Lord?
Named after his father, Lord Drameth, the former ruler of Medrias. The Sith Emperor, Darth Vitiate, who was unknown to Revan and the greater part of the galaxy. This emperor had been in hiding for 1,000 years, ever since the Great Hyperspace War. An agent of the Emperor was sent to contact Mandalore and instigate a war with the Republic. When Mandalore helped this agent find the Temple of Lord Dramath, they gave Mandalore information from a vision which said they would win a war against the Republic.
Out here capped his ass off.
Oblivious at the time, had fallen victim to the powerful force persuasion of the Emperor. Mandalore was now to be used as a furious weapon against the Republic to test the Republic's strength. The Emperor wanted to know if he could return and conquer the galaxy.
At that very moment,
one of a very, very long plan. Revan and Malak were able to somehow discover Nathema and leave coordinates to its location back at the temple on Rekiad, stored within a holocron. After investigating Nathema, the homeworld of the Sith Emperor, they both eventually—
I was about to say, what the hell is he saying? Nathema.
After investigating Nathema, the homeworld of the Sith Emperor, they both eventually discover Dromund Kaas and the undenying presence of the Sith. The Jedi had thought the Sith to be extinct, but that simply wasn't the case. An ancient Dark Lord by the name of Vitiate had kept the Sith in hiding for 1,000 years.
Vitiate? Vitiate? Vitiate sound. Oh, Vitiate is Volcorian? Oh, shit.
Malak dropped down. Simply wasn't the case. An ancient Dark Lord by the name of Vitiate had kept the Sith in hiding for 1,000 years. Revan and Malak dropped down on the planet and posed as mercenaries to the locals. They spent much time gathering information on the Sith Empire and their Emperor. Investigating Dromund Kaas led Revan to some insightful information on the Emperor. He had discovered the Emperor was once known as Tenebrae, and he ruled a world named Nathema. But most terrifying of all, Revan learned that Tenebrae had tricked a legion of Sith 1,000 years ago into a powerful dark side ritual that allowed Tenebrae to consume the force energy of every living thing on the planet.
Shit.
Tenebrae consumed a world. This was 1,000 years ago. There was no telling how powerful he might be now. After seeing what the Emperor was capable of, Revan and Malak knew they had to stop him. Eventually, they were both able to uncover that the Emperor was motivated to attack the Republic, which was very bad news considering the state that they are in after the Mandalorian Wars.
Yeah, it was immediately after the war.
Take action. Revan had made allies within the Sith Citadel who said they also wanted to defeat the Emperor. They were able to sneak Revan and Malak through the Royal Guard and into the Emperor's throne room. However,
they had ops, man.
Deceived.
Oh, come on.
They thought they made.
Come on, bruh. What? I'm shocked over here hearing it. That was what?
They were able to sneak Revan and Malak through, who said they also wanted to defeat the Emperor. They were able to sneak Revan and Malak through the Royal Guard and into the Emperor's
I really
throne.
want to know how that process went.
They had been deceived. The allies they thought they made were in fact loyal to the Emperor. The servants of the Emperor had no choice in whether or not to obey. They lacked the attribute to betray their own master. Now, within the presence of the Emperor, the Jedi Revan and Malak were
GG.
outmatched.
I'm assuming Malak gets killed. Your duo gets killed.
You monster. You arranged chaos and war. Millions are dead. Naive Jedi. You came
Tough.
all this way just to fail. No. We will resist you. He is too strong. My mind. No. 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 No.
Revan and Malak had their minds dominated by the Emperor. They had been corrupted and pushed into the dark side. Unable to resist, the former Jedi, now Dark Lords, were sent back to the Republic as the vanguard of the Emperor's invasion.
Damn. That's how it happened? That's actually way more fucked up than I thought. I kind of thought it was more so like, you know, I guess more mind getting corrupted, but really kind of your own fault kind of thing. Your own like selfish desires kind of, you know? Nah, bro, they really just got mind fucked. Like right then and there.
Had given Revan information on old Rakatan technology, which led Revan and Malak to the Starforge, which they would use to build an army against the Republican Jedi. You may remember this from the Knights of the Old Republic games, where we see Revan and Malak searching for the star maps. This was immediately after their return from being corrupted by the Emperor. Once Revan contacted the Emperor to let him know he had immobilized the Republic's defenses, the Emperor would sweep in. However, the Emperor had completely underestimated Revan and Malak.
What the fuck is
They had
that?
adopted so much new power that they were able to twist and bend the Emperor's instructions until they thought they were acting on their own free will. Because of this action, they both had all of the memories of the Emperor and the Sith Andromen cars pushed so far down that they had forgotten all about them. Because of this, Revan never contacted the Emperor to signal his arrival. If that had been the case,
It's a Black Jedi, I think. I see a crispy lineup.
the Republic would have been overwhelmed
With
and
a fade.
likely defeated. With all memory of the Emperor and his plans gone away, Revan and Malak still went to war with the Republic and Jedi.
By the way, even in the Old Republic games, bro, Sith niggas just be straight boxing, bro, getting jumped without a care in the world.
Gone away. Revan and Malak still went to war with the Republic and Jedi, believing they were acting on their own accord. This time was known as the Jedi Civil War. But things were not as they seemed. The Dark Lord Revan was no fool. Despite breaking free of the mind control and losing memory of the Emperor, Revan knew that something had happened. He knew that somehow, somewhere, something
Was it like a blank space in his memory or something?
Sure. Embracing the dark side, Revan swore to
That's
master
crazy,
the
yo.
dark and use it against
Damn.
his enemies. He had always had a craving for learning more. He sacrificed his own
Bro, his
beliefs
music is
and
good.
ideals to venture into the dark side and learn its secrets. But this was the only way to win. Darth Revan and Malak together had retaken the Sith homeworld of Korriban and re-established the Sith Academy.
Is Malak like similar strength to Revan? I would assume since they've been together, like they've been locked in, you feel me, through training and all that together. Like I'm assuming they might be like similar strength or something.
With an influx of new students, which would often be Jedi veterans of the Mandalorian Wars. Revan had also visited the ancient world known as Lehon, or Rakata Prime. This is where he left his Sith holocron, as to pass on his
What's a
newfound
holocron?
knowledge of the dark side. It was actually Darth Bane, who 3,000 years later discovered the Sith holocron of Revan.
Did that nigga say Darth Ben? Bro, what the fuck is a Ben? No? Damn.
Actually Darth Bane, who 3,000 years later discovered the Sith holocron of Revan, and was inspired to create the Rule of Two. Check out our video covering that topic. The Revelation.
Darth
For
Bane.
nearly 1,000 years, the teachings of the dark side were thought to be gone.
Holocrons contain info and can only be accessed with the Force. Uncle Ben to the dark side, man. Dark side, man.
And now,
Okay, Darth Bane sounds better than Darth Ben.
for nearly 1,000 years, the teachings of the dark side were thought to be gone. And now in the Jedi Civil War, its presence had returned in Legion. Revan was using his newfound strength to conquer the Republic and eventually defend the galaxy from a mysterious looming threat somewhere else.
The looming
You could say
threat.
his intentions were right, but the act itself was horror made manifest. We don't know exactly when Darth Malak suffered his injury to the jaw, or lack thereof.
Hey,
But what
injuries
we do know
to the
is
jaw.
that Revan was the one to do it. You
Whoa,
see, at this time in
damn.
the galaxy, the Rule of Two is not present. However, Revan directly inspired this tradition. With his newfound teachings in the dark side of the Force, Revan began to perfect it, even correct it, or improve it. Revan would contemplate that the Sith should have a single leader, a being who embodied the dark side in its entirety, and that each master should only have one student. What I assume happened with Malak's injury is that Darth Revan had established this hierarchy within his new Sith order.
Yeah, and then what Malik probably ain't like that shit. And he said, "Shut the fuck up, bitch," and smacked the shit out. Yeah, man, that's how I assume the conversation went. Like, no, Revan, you can't be the one to lead us. We can't be led by only one person.
Meaning Revan would claim himself to be the one true Dark Lord, and would designate Darth Malak, his former friend and confidant, to be the apprentice. Naturally, Malak would have refuted this because of his ego and
Yeah, I'm gonna say, bruh, I ain't gonna lie. Just imagine you growing up with your mans, y'all become cool, y'all in the same class, same school, y'all gotta get the same grades and shit. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Y'all get the same job out of high school. Y'all graduate or something. Y'all accomplish the same things. Then that nigga just one day say like, bruh, nah, bruh, I'm your master.
And the battle.
I'm your master.
This is more than likely how the injury occurred, and Malak was put in his place of apprentice. There is a great visual representation you can find on YouTube. Darth Revan was simply ahead of his time.
Wait, really? There's a cool fan animation how Revan sliced Malak's jaw off. Whoa, hold on, gang. He didn't say that in this video. He sliced his jaw off. Oh my, how long is the video? It depends how long it is. Dang, can I make this into a separate video, you think? Or do I include it? I include it? I mean, it's 5 minutes. I low-key could make it to another. All right, I'll react to it after this.
Becoming a Dark Lord made him immensely more powerful and unlocked new abilities he had never before thought possible, even discovering and scribing many Sith rituals, including the profoundly lethal Thought Bomb ritual. But alas,
what?
The
Profoundly
Force
what?
seeks balance,
What ritual?
And events start to change. As the Jedi Civil War continues, Revan is betrayed by Darth Malak and then captured by a Jedi strike team. We know the ins and outs of this story from the original KOTOR game, but we'll summarize here. Revan was captured by a strike team.
I understand the subs like not being good though, because I mean, it's words and names that like bro, they aren't real. You feel me? Like I get it. I mean, I just have it on there just for a little bit. Like some words could still be like
Jedi Bastila Shan, who was a prodigy in battle meditation. Once he was brought before the Jedi Council, the Council together performed a ritual that would force Revan to once again lose more memories. Except this time, he was made to forget everything he knew about being a Sith, a Jedi, and the rest of Revan's identity. They had reforged his...
Bro, the whole entirety so far of Revan's story is just people cooking the shit out of his brain. Oh my god, bro. That dude is literally just here to get his brain fucking destroyed. My god.
To believe he was a Republic soldier who had been summoned to duty.
You don't understand.
Nigga, ew, what is that, bro? What is that? Who the fuck is this supposed to be, bro? Who is this nigga? That's not, these aren't council members. Ain't no damn way these are Jedi council members, bro. What the fuck is that thing?
I did this to protect you.
Don't try to justify.
Hold on, that fragrance kind of smell good.
People.
No one is
Smells
innocent,
really good, actually.
Especially the Jedi. You would bring about your own destruction.
Enough of this. Together now, we can overwhelm him.
Do not make the mistake of assuming this will be easy.
The Jedi Council had used a powerful ritual to turn Revan against the enemy. They had intended to bring Revan back to their side by somehow reintroducing him to the light side under a new identity. They lead Revan along to training once again, to becoming a Jedi. Revan had no knowledge of what had happened. He was simply a new man who seemed to be gifted in the Force. Revan and Bastila went on to discover that they had formed a Force bond with one another, which was intriguing to the Jedi.
Force bond? That sounds freaky.
Held no real relevance to Revan, other than leaving him asking more questions. Eventually, the pair would fall for one another and engage in a relationship. However,
wait, what?
Must eventually be set free.
Wait, actually,
tasking Revan and Bastila with finding the star maps that new Revan would have dreams about. Truth was revealed by Darth Malak in a confrontation. Malak told Revan what had really happened and who he really was. After learning who he
but did he really tell him though? He'd be like, yeah, bro, you're my apprentice.
Really was. Revan would go on to redeem his past actions by finding the Starforge and confronting his old friend, Darth Malak. Malak was defeated at the hands of Revan, and the galaxy would believe itself to be at peace.
Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power.
Damn.
Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force.
I ain't gonna lie, buddy is this like Is this actually like a part of the story? These lines being said? That shit fire as fuck.
After freeing the galaxy of the new Sith Order and establishing Republic
Sith Oath?
control once again.
Oh, this is the Sith Code. Oh. I ain't gonna lie, bro. The more and more I learn about this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, I'm Team Sith, nigga. Yeah, hey, bro, I'm Team Sith. I'm dead ass Team Sith. I don't know about y'all niggas.
Revan and his companions were celebrated as heroes. Bastila and Revan also married. Mission Vaya and Big Z, the Wookiee, had a small cargo business up and running on Coruscant.
Not surprised.
Over
Hey.
time, Revan once again began to sense a disturbance, a danger. He would have terrible nightmares that showed him a storm-covered planet. This was the memory of Drummond Cars returning to him, though he didn't know what it meant just yet. Motivated to find out the truth of his past, to unravel the mystery of everything that had occurred over the past few years, Revan spoke to Bastila in an attempt to convince her to go with him to find this world he had been dreaming about. However, Bastila revealed she was pregnant, so they had decided it was best she stayed behind. Bastila didn't want Revan to go at first, but she knew it had to be done. Revan knew he was going to need help since now Bastila couldn't go with him. He refused to ask Mission and Big Z, as they went legit with their own business. The others, such as Jolie and Juhani, had gone back to the Order to help rebuild. Revan was able to reach out to Canderous Order, the Mandalorian who he found in a bar on Coruscant. Canderous admitted he'd been sitting around waiting for the next big adventure, so he was on board
Next
straight
big
away with
adventure.
help. Revan
That's what
had
he's waiting
asked
on.
Canderous if he could find him some information, if he could find out any information as to why Mandalore the Ultimate started a war. While Canderous made progress with his contacts in the clans, Revan had decided to do some research on where his old friend Mitra was. Mitra Surik, also known as the Exile, was a Jedi who
Mitra
rebelled against the
Surik.
Council's wishes and joined Revan to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. When Revan and
Okay.
Malak had disappeared after the war, Mitra returned to the Council for judgment. She was then exiled and stripped of her lightsaber.
Oh, it's a she.
Revan
Oh,
discovered
okay.
all of this from within the Jedi archives. Although he was a galactic hero just a few years ago now, the Jedi still detested
Bro, that thing is making me uncomfortable. Kind of got titties on the top of his head.
Revan's teachings. Revan had become attuned to all of this from within the Jedi archives. Although he was a galactic hero just a few years ago now, the Jedi still detested Revan's teachings. Revan had become attuned to the light and the dark side of the Force now. He had seen beyond the arrogant teachings of the Order alone. Revan actually attempted to offer his own wisdom to the new Jedi Council, who shunned his offer and forced him to agree not to teach anyone his methods.
Damn.
Because of this, Revan had to be careful who he bumped into. It could be someone unfriendly towards his past. While studying the archives, Revan bumped into the Jedi archivist, Atris, who used to be a friend of Mitra Surik, until she rebelled against the Council's wishes. Atris and Revan had an intense conversation about Mitra and the fact that she had cut herself off from the Force. Revan didn't know the aftermath of what happened with the mass shadow generator, so to discover his friend had been exiled and pushed out of the Order made Revan angry.
Yeah.
He felt
I can see that.
responsible. All
Yeah,
of this would
I
mean
was about to
that
say,
Mitra
guilty
could
and
not
shit.
join him in his journey to find the world from his dreams. When Canderous returned word to Revan, he told him some of the clans were headed up to a planet called Rekiad in search of Mandalore's mask. Revan was convinced he could find some answers there. After all, it was him who hid Mandalore's mask in the first place. So Revan went undercover as a companion to Canderous as they joined his clan, Clan Order.
Bro, it just sounds like low key. The way he's telling the story, it just sounds like something big and drastic happens. Like I don't know. It's like jumps into between the story, but the way he's telling it is like flowing, like it's like one thing right immediately after another.
On the hunt for Mandalore's mask, Revan was able to deduce that Rekiad wasn't the planet from his dreams. Rekiad was covered in mountains and snow, with heavy blizzards around the globe. Revan did, however, have a vision, or more accurately, a memory.
It's got to be around here somewhere.
Have you found it yet?
No, but I can sense its presence. You must be close.
I found it.
Is it crazy? Is it crazy that he's still using like the art of Revan when he was a Jedi? Shouldn't his like lightsaber be red by now and shit?
Over here. Revan remembered he had been here before.
Well, I guess I don't even think I've seen. I guess it would be different now, huh? I don't know.
Malak. He saw two parallel mountains standing side by side. He asked T3M4 to do a search of the planet looking specifically for a structure, as Revan described. He believed they would find Mandalor's mask in the location of the vision. After some trouble on the way, they both eventually make.
What'd you say? He had both red and purple? No, he don't, gang. No, he not. No, he not, bruh. Oh my god. No, he did. No, he did. Nah, bro, you gotta send me art. You gotta send me art of that shit. You have to, bro.
Get to the two pillar-looking mountains, where they discovered an ancient temple. Upon venturing into the temple, the two of them discover a sarcophagus covered with a stone slab. It was easy to tell from the surface and the scratches that this resting place had been opened multiple times already and reclosed. Revan opened the sarcophagus and found a holocron and the mask of Mandalore inside.
Yep, found Mandalore mask.
After touching the mask, Revan immediately remembered everything about his last.
This might be the coldest nigga in existence, bro. No, bro, he actually. He the coldest nigga. He might have to go. Yo, red and purple goes so fucking hard. That's so crazy, bro. What? Like, come on, bro. Come on. Hey, bro, ain't no Jedi niggas moving like this, bro. Ain't no Jedi, bro. What? He dual wielded these jumps for red and purple, bro. Reppin' is tough. Damn, is that my favorite design now, bro? Fuck, I don't know, bro. Damn.
Visit there.
This is the temple Mandalore told me about.
So Mandalore was telling the truth. The Sith still exist.
Look around, Malak. Presence of the dark side here is unmistakable.
I think he's trying to talk like Yoda.
But what does this mean? What should we do?
Yes, this is the proof we were looking for. Sith do still exist. We have to stop them.
You make it sound so simple, Revan.
We must discover the truth of all this.
Shouldn't we return to the temple on Coruscant? The council surely has.
No, Malak. We do this alone.
Dang, a movie on his story would be so tough. I can't lie. I think. I know I'm only halfway through the story, but like, I think it would be a very entertaining to actually visually see a lot of these events take place for real. That's why everyone is begging to see him in canon. Knights of the Old Republic remake been having rough development. Too late for canon, been legends for years.
I've got a bad feeling about this. The memories and the information were a lot to take in, so it took him a moment to process it. There was also additional clarifying details, such as coordinates on the holocron that had been found alongside the mask. Shortly after, Revan and Canderous were confronted by some members of Clan Order, who turned out to know who Revan was all along after a bad nickname from Canderous. Vila, who was also Canderous's wife, attacked both Revan and Canderous.
Like, can you imagine seeing like the shadow weapon and like in the middle of like a war, bro? I ain't gonna lie, that's one expensive. It sounds like one expensive or hard working ass movie, bro. Like, can you imagine seeing that shit in like a live action movie?
And attempted to take the mask from them. The attempt was futile though, as Revan and Canderous combined were able to overwhelm the few clan members involved. Unfortunately, the Mandalorians lost their lives in the conflict, but they were laid respectfully to rest within the tomb. After the conflict, Revan explained to Canderous everything he remembered so far, which was still just bits and pieces, but now the context is coming together. Revan now knew the location of Nathema, which was a place he and Malak discovered, so he knew this was a good lead to follow up on.
So you're heading to Nathema. Well, I didn't have any other plans anyway. No, Canderous. Your people need you. I saw how your clan reacted to you being here. The new Mandalore should be you. They respect you. But a compliment for some hard-chucked Jedi who killed the last one. You need me to my back on you to all the awesome we've been through together. Your people were tricked into a war they couldn't win. They need you more than I do. They need you to show them the way. I am Mandalore the Preserver.
He just had to throw that shit
I will
in
bring
there.
honor and order back to our people.
Mandalore the Preserver. No sauce. Bro, they don't got sauce though, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Revan and the newly risen Mandalore go their separate ways.
I gotta hear some
Revan continues
Mandalorian
on to
stories.
Nathema so that he can finally get some larger questions answered. He now knew that the Sith still existed somewhere. It was now more important than ever before to find out the truth of his past. When Revan arrived in the Nathema system, he learned that the planet Nathema, and even around its orbit, was completely null of the Force. With all his effort, he couldn't find the Force in reach. Before he had enough time to figure out what any of that meant, another ship in the system had locked on with heavy weapons and fired on the Ebonhawk. The starship came crashing down on the surface of Nathema and nose planted into a small city. Amazingly, Revan was still alive and T3M4 was still functioning. However, Revan was unconscious in the pilot's seat. T3M4 had witnessed and recorded a large red-skinned male enter the Ebonhawk and carry Revan away. This was Lord Scourge, who was accompanied by Darth Nihilus. To find out Lord Scourge's side of the story, check out our explained video on him.
He got scooped up by a large red-skinned nigga named Scourge, and wait, that sounds familiar. Scourge? Nihilus doesn't sound familiar though.
T3M4, the incredible astromech droid, was able to repair the Ebonhawk and fly it back to Republic space. The next time, check out our explained video of Darth Nihilus. To find out Lord Scourge's side of the story, check out our explained video on him. T3M4, the incredible astromech droid, was able to repair the Ebonhawk and fly it back to Republic space. The next time we see the ship and the droid is in the beginning of Knights of the Old Republic 2. If you're wondering why T3M4 didn't reveal any of the things he knew to Mitra, then this is simply because before T3M4 left with Revan back on Coruscant, Bastila had programmed T3M4 to return to her and inform only her about Revan if anything was to go wrong. So T3M4 was literally unable to say anything about Revan until Bastila hears it first. T3M4 also knew it was more important to help Mitra defeat Darth Traya and her would-be new Sith Order. So if anything...
Oh, Darth Traya. Darth Traya is the... Darth Traya sounds... Yeah. Ooh. Well, who was Darth Traya tied to again? Bro, fuck. Was it... It wasn't the Star Killer video, was it? Traya was... What video? Oh, it was a Nihilus video.
T3M4 is the real hero. Back to Revan. Revan was captured and imprisoned by a member of the Dark Council, Darth Nihilus. Within her stronghold, Revan was being interrogated by Lord Scourge to discover why he had returned to them. You see, Darth Nihilus knew that Revan had been here before. However, the Emperor had told the Dark Council that he killed Darth Revan. This was because the Emperor wanted to invade the Republic without the Dark Council knowing. Despite all of the Emperor's power, his people and even chosen Dark Council members all opposed a direct war with the Republic.
Okay, bro. How you Emperor niggas out here scared to move on your order? Nah, bro. Nah. They gotta. That's why you gotta lead by fear, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta lead by fear. Motherfuckers gotta fear you, because then they gonna listen to whatever the fuck you say, regardless of how serious it is. You guys fear them.
Believed it would be suicide to assault the Jedi again, considering what had happened to the ancient Sith Lords past. They also knew they had to keep their own existence a secret, because Darth Nihilus discovered the Emperor's true plan.
But chat, is he saying Nihilus like that, or is it Nihilus, somebody else? Somebody else, right? Maybe not.
Their own existence a secret, because Darth Nihilus discovered the
Dart. So he is referring to Nihilus. Okay.
Again.
It sounds like he has like a R, so it sounds like it's like a completely different person. Nihilus, or near, like there's a Nihilus and then there's a Nihilus or something.
Considering what had happened to the ancient Sith Lords past, they also knew they had to keep their own existence a secret. Because Darth Nihilus discovered the Emperor's true plans, she and others decided to secretly oppose the Emperor.
She?
But now that Revan was back and alive, and also somehow free of the Emperor's domination, they have questions. Revan was able to maintain himself over many years being imprisoned. He actually developed a kind of mutual relationship with Lord Scourge. They would often engage in conversation about the Force.
It's supposed to be like...
Revan would use these small talks to drop subtle hints of persuasion towards Lord Scourge, as to convince him to somehow...
What does Lord Scourge look like? I'm curious. Knows his accent, Welsh people, just like that.
team up together and take on the Emperor. Scourge was never naive and didn't fall for these tricks. But when Revan bluffed and said he'd seen a vision of his own escape, and that Scourge would help him do it, this made him think. Eventually, the exile, known as Mitra Surik, came looking for Revan. After defeating
Mitra's helping.
Darth and the others, she was able to make contact with Bastila.
Dang, she beat Dartreya. She beat Treya and others. Damn. Mitra likes, bro. I thought she didn't. Mitra like give up her connection with the Force.
Bastila told Mitra what Revan intended to do, find the world from his dreams. But that was years ago, and he hasn't returned. They had a son now. She named him Neva, which is an anagram of Revan. When T3M4 sees Bastila, the droid tells her everything. Bastila explains in that moment why T3M4 is only just now saying something, as we explained earlier. T3M4 showed Bastila and Mitra the
Nah, bro, he ugly, bro. Nah, bro, that's your ass. Nah, bro, that's your ass.
footage of Lord Scourge taking Revan. The droid also had the coordinates ready to go for Nathema. Bastila had to stay behind once again.
That nigga
Her son
look
was
like you and Ron mixed.
What? You just saying anything, bro. Appreciate the 32 months, man. Much love.
Very young.
That's canonically the OG Sith race, by the way. I thought the OG Sith was just red skin, not like specifically looking like this though, bro. That's not it. I ain't gonna lie, that's not it, bro. That's not it. That's not like what he has, like the fleshy beard tentacle things going on, and then he got the nerve to put some fucking bead joints on it, like where and then on his eyebrows too, bro. Freaky ass nigga got a little fucking eyebrow ring. Like you, nah, bro. Nah, I'm happy they added some sort of some different joints.
So Mitra and T3.
I know it said Redskin was the original joint, but
When they arrived,
not specifically like
Mitra
that.
was led to Drummond Cars in likely a similar fashion to Malak and Revan before. Once on Drummond, as we explained earlier, T3M4 showed Bastila and Mitra the footage of Lord Scourge taking Revan. The droid also had the coordinates ready to go for Nathema. Bastila had to stay behind once again. Her son was still very young, so Mitra and T3 went to Nathema in search of Revan. When they arrived, Mitra was led to Drummond Cars in likely a similar fashion to Malak and Revan before. Once on Drummond Cars, Mitra quickly conducted a plan and went in search
Mitra
of Revan.
likes
She
that,
was able
huh?
to make contact with someone who could identify Lord Scourge in a holovid. From there, she was able to set up a meeting between them both. All of this was a testament to the exile's skill. She was quickly able to discover Lord Scourge and even meet with him.
Valkorian was the primary reason why the vast majority went extinct. That's so tough.
Although of course the meeting place was ambushed by Lord Scourge's men, Mitra was able to resist the pathetic attempts by the soldiers. So now she was
Mitra's just her.
faced with the Sith who had taken
Revan.
They
Mitra's
both have a
just her,
conversation
huh?
around some of the
Mitra's actually
things
just
that
her.
they know with Revan and the Emperor, and they end up becoming fragile allies, while Lord Scourge and the Exile are figuring out their alliance.
Wait, that fit
Lord
cool.
Scourge
So
has
that
taken
fit's
drastic
tough. Who the hell's that?
action by deciding to sabotage Darth Nihilus and exposing her to the Emperor himself. Mitra
Chat. What? I could have sworn Nihilus was a dude. Hey, you might be talking about somebody else then. I could have sworn Nihilus was a dude. My memory ass, but like, nah, it's someone else. Bro, whole time, bro, it's somebody else. It's Nihilus and then Nihilus. Like that's why I said her before when he's like, yeah, you know, expose her or something. Like he said it like what, like 2 minutes ago in the video. I'm like, well, her? Wait, what? Nyrus. Oh my god, gang. Alright, bro. Alright, bro.
Brett and Scourge would use the oncoming battles at Nyrus' stronghold as a distraction to rescue Revan. Back at his cell, when the attack on Nyrus' stronghold began, Revan was able to free himself of the drugs they used to keep him docile, and was then able to convince the nearby guards to let him out of his cell. He had promised the guards that he would get them out the building alive by the time Revan was out of his cell.
That actually worked. Wait, Revan actually just got
Mitra and Lord Scourge had arrived to free him. After a fast and joyful reunion, Revan finally learned Scourge's name, as he never knew this entire time. He even laughed and said no wonder he never told him. It was an awful name. Astella had given Revan's old mask to Mitra, so that she could give it to Revan. She handed him the mask.
The mask.
And when he held it,
Sauce.
all of his memories,
all memories, yeah.
everything he lost, came rushing back in, so the overdrive of information sent Revan's mind into shock, and he passed out on the floor. At the same time, Darth Nyrus confronted them in the hallways. She was almost able to defeat and kill Lord Scourge.
What does Darth Nyrus look like? I'm always curious on what like the female Sith characters look like. No reason at all. No reason. No reason. Just curious.
However, confronted them in the hallways. She was almost able to defeat and kill Lord Scourge. However,
damn,
Revan had reawakened and stepped
yeah,
in
Revan. Yeah, Revan.
Nyrus
That's big Revan, huh?
Revan's deadly counterattack.
The way he tells the story is so, like, this how it's been going the whole video, bro. He just would say something, be like, oh, yeah, da-da-da-da-da, and then he'll jump to something so drastic. There's nothing in between. It's just like a big change of events that just take place, or something completely different. He just, hey, yo, Nyrus just got fucking Visser. Nyrus just got turned to dust.
All three of them, Revan, Mitra, and Scourge, escape the stronghold while the Emperor's guard finishes off their assaults. The next day, Scourge was able to find out that the Emperor had put the planet in lockdown, and martial law was
tough.
in effect.
Oh,
The curfew
so
was also
tough.
in place. The
Ah,
Emperor
so tough. He's so clean. He's the cleanest to ever exist. He might be the cleanest ever, bro.
had used the betrayal of Nyrus and others as an excuse to finally dissolve his Dark Council. The Emperor killed each seat holder, regardless of their innocence in the matter. Revan confirmed that his memories had returned, but he was
Like just solely in a black fit with a purple lightsaber is so unbelievably tough.
still piecing them together properly. He knew about the Emperor's origins and how he consumed all life on his homeworld. He knew that he and Malak came here before and was lured into a trap set by the Emperor. They thought they had an inside contact to one of the royal guards, but they were being betrayed.
Oh shit, you gotta fight Revan in this
After
zone.
explaining everything that had happened,
It really is a Star Wars
decided
MMO.
that defeating the Emperor was necessary. The next morning, they head to the Sith Citadel, and with the help of Lord Scourge, they're able to make it through the guard and all the way to the Emperor's throne room doors. It was there that they were stopped by a royal guard captain who demanded that only Lord Scourge may enter the room and not the two others with him, being Revan and Mitra. Unfortunately, this captain was the same guard who had betrayed Revan before, so when she saw his red and grey mask, she recognized him immediately and declared that they were assassins. They had to fight their way into the throne room while Scourge and Mitra fought off the guards. Revan used the Force to blast the throne room doors open and rush in after the Emperor. The other two would backpedal into the room and close the doors. Even T3M4 was helping by sealing the door with a substance they use on Starship hull repairs. Revan charges the Emperor and is met with a furious dark side energy blast. He endures and continues his charge. Revan was able to knock the Emperor back more than once, but it wouldn't prove to be worth much. The Emperor was able to overwhelm Revan with Force lightning and engulf him with sparks. Revan's flesh was burning and his mask was melting into his face.
Damn.
The droid T3M4 charged the Emperor as to save Revan.
Go
By hitting
T3M4.
him with his droid flamethrower attachment.
Yeah.
Although it caught the Emperor off guard, it didn't really do any harm.
Shit.
The Emperor reacted by completely obliterating T3M4.
No, T3 and 4. Why?
Actually find his remains in the SWTOR game, when you also confront the Emperor. While Revan laid on the throne room floor, the Emperor walked up to him and picked up his own weapon. He then activated it and went in for the final blow. However, Mitra was able to intercept the blade and send it flying out of the Emperor's hand using
Mitra's like clutch.
a saber thrower. This caught the Emperor off guard as well and made him step back to re-evaluate the new enemy. Revan was able to get back on his feet. Scourge and Mitra were done with the guards and joined Revan against the Emperor.
This time, I won't let you win.
I'm surprised to see you alive.
It won't be the last surprise for you today. Pitiful Jedi.
You
cannot
cannot
stand
stand against me.
Together, we can end you.
Remains to be seen.
That's such a crazy ass comeback. Remains to be seen, fuck nigga.
Before they could attack together, Lord Scourge had experienced a powerful vision that showed him a true hero that would defeat the Emperor for good. Scourge knew he had to betray Revan so that he could actually see the Emperor is defeated. A Jedi would
Wait, they
defeat
catch
the
him off
Emperor,
guard?
but that Jedi wasn't Revan. Scourge
Wait,
betrayed them and stabbed Mitra in the
damn.
back. She
What?
fell to the floor and died before she
Damn,
hit the ground.
you
Revan turned in
bitch!
shock, of course, but the Emperor once again engulfed him with Force lightning. Scourge spent some time convincing the Emperor he did this to protect him and that Revan was forcing him into this. The Emperor told Scourge to execute Revan as to prove his claims.
Bro, who is this? Bro, who is this, bro? Nah, nigga, bro, who is that? Dog, nah, for real, bro. Tell me, what the fuck is that? Ugh.
Into this, the Emperor told Scourge
Yada.
to execute Revan as to prove his claims. Scourge knew he must comply.
That ain't Yoda, that's Yordo.
Scourge to execute Revan as to prove his claims. Scourge knew he must comply, so he knelt down and ripped off Revan's mask to see the scarred and deformed tissue underneath. He then swung his blade, but the Emperor stopped him from following through. The Emperor says he has other plans for Revan.
Wait,
Revan was then
what?
imprisoned in a high-security facility known as the Maelstrom Prison. The Emperor spent the next 300 years draining Revan of his power and
Damn.
knowledge. Mitra Surik became a Force ghost that would watch over Revan from afar. She was
Wait,
never
Mitra
able
became
to
a
commune
ghost?
with him, as the dark side powers around his prison prevented her from getting inside. So she spent 300 years sending her own life force and energy so that he may find the will to live on
Damn.
and the strength.
Bro, Mitra clutch, though, man. Mitra been clutch this whole entire story. Even from death. What the fuck?
Fights. The two of them were truly the best of friends, but it was more than that. It went beyond simple relationships between friends.
Yeah.
They fought together, defended the galaxy together, and she loved him.
I'm about to
This
say
was
she
not
had
the
to love him.
end to Revan's story. After being imprisoned for over 300 years,
Bro, Revan get the
is
hose
finally
too.
freed by a Republic strike team and the hero of Typhon. Once
The hero of
freed,
Typhon?
Revan was
300
finally
years
able
ago?
to commune with Mitra. He went on to reactivate the Starforge and intended to use it to amass a new army that could oppose the Emperor. After all, he was still the greatest threat in the galaxy. Despite that, in this point of time, the Emperor was being silenced. Revan also found and repaired HK-47, who was appointed a role within the Starforge, also known as the Foundry. However, an Imperial strike team was sent to intercept Revan on the Starforge and bring an end to his plans. The strike team is successful in defeating Revan, but something unusual happens as Revan is defeated. His dark side refuses to die and is able to somehow survive. Revan would secretly be under the care of the Revanites, who were a secret cult
The
of followers dedicated to
Revanites?
Revan. After
The
spending some
hell?
time recuperating, Revan Reborn shows himself to the galaxy. This dark-sided version of Revan is a shadow of the Revan that existed many years ago. This Revan knows that the Emperor is the true enemy and is willing to do horrible things to achieve his ultimate goal. This Revan Reborn became such a threat with his newfound arsenal that the Republic and Empire forged a temporary alliance to defeat the Revanites
What
together.
the fuck? That is crazy.
At this point in time, the Emperor was rumored to be dead at the hands.
Wait, does he still like rock the purple lightsaber, bro?
The Emperor is the true enemy and is willing to do horrible things to achieve his ultimate goal. This Revan Reborn became such a threat with his newfound arsenal that the Republican Empire forged a temporary alliance to defeat the Revanites together. At this point in time, the Emperor was rumored to be dead at the hands of the hero of Typhon. However, Revan knows this isn't totally true. Revan refuses to die until the Emperor is also dead. So he fueled the current Revanite war in hopes of summoning the Emperor to fight. Revan is defeated by the mightiest in the galaxy. Even his light-sided Force Ghost worked against him. His light-sided Ghost aided the Empire and Republic to defeat him. After all the death and destruction, the Emperor announced himself, but did not appear to fight anyone. He took his essence to Ziost, where he later once again consumed or corrupted all life on the planet. And in the end, they combined back to become whole. However, Revan...
I think I could get Revan lightsabers on that website. I think that website has Revan lightsabers. Oh, please.
was meant to be dead, so only his Force Ghost form remained, and not his physical form. Over the next...
Wait, now I think about it, I think I was checking it. I think I was looking at it, but it wasn't 2 lightsabers though.
Many years, Revan's ghost was in contact with Lord Scourge and secretly helping from behind the scenes to defeat the Emperor.
Bro,
For all.
that is the ugliest nigga to ever exist, bruh. It seemed like there was no fucking thought process behind his design. Get Scourge ass out of here. I hate that nigga. He's not what I pictured. I'm very disappointed.
Over the next many years, Revan's ghost was in contact with Lord Scourge and secretly helping from behind the scenes to defeat the Emperor.
Look at
once
him.
and for all. Eventually, Lord Scourge brings the hero of Typhon up to date with Tenebrae's last gruesome weapon. In the past few years, many things had happened. The former Sith Emperor had revealed himself as Valkorion, the immortal ruler of Zakul. He had been raising an entirely different civilization and culture in wild space. However, Valkorion was defeated by the hero of Typhon, and his essence was forced into the void. The last gruesome weapon of Tenebrae, the Sith Emperor, was his original body and the ritual scribed into his flesh. Revan was able to locate his original body and lead Lord Scourge to it. Lord Scourge then destroyed the body. However, in doing so, the ritual was activated. The powers that came seeping out would attempt to mind dominate anyone around. However, Scourge was able to resist the Emperor's control, and so was his companion. However, Satele Shan and some of her students showed up, and they fell victim to the ritual. We would later find out that Satele Shan intended to do this so that the strongest could gather and defeat the Emperor once and for all. So Lord Scourge gets to play a character in Star Wars The Old Republic and brings them to where this happened.
Wait, that's that nigga right there, right? Valkorion?
Revan's Force Ghost reveals himself
where
to
fuck
the
his
player
name
and
is.
asks that we finish this once and for all. Scourge's companion, Kira Carson, guides the group into a trance, because the Emperor is attempting to take over the bodies of Satele and her students, so they use the Force to enter their minds and fight the Emperor. Finally, in his most vulnerable state, Revan and many other heroes from many points in time across the galaxy are able to overcome.
Never mind, bro. I was about to say it would be dope to be the live action, bro. Oh my god, this shit goes on for so fucking long, and it ends up into some fucking multiversal ass in-game battle. Bro, never mind. That shit is never coming to the big screen. That shit is never coming to the big screen. But at least I hope I get at least a little bit of it, you know? Like, bro, yeah, multiple season series and shit.
Power the Emperor. With his original body and essence destroyed, Revan would finally know peace and at last become one with the Force.
That is fucking crazy, bro. His story is so fucking wild. It literally is so... It's like so many bits and pieces moving everywhere and impact, I guess, on like a lot of other characters. Bro, that's wild, man. Dang, man. That is dope, bro. That is dope. Let me know down in the comment section what I should react to next. Let me catch you guys later.